override the laws of the member nations. A constitution was drafted but rejected by a few of those nations, but never mind. They implemented it anyway. Now it's North America's turn. Building on the North American Free Trade Agreement, the NAFTA section of the Commerce Department is busy drafting laws and regulations for a North American Union, a union of Canada, America, and Mexico. The President has attended secret meetings and signed at least 2 agreements under the Security and Prosperity Partnership Program.
Today we must develop federal structures on a global level to deal with world problems. We need a system of enforceable world law, a democratic federal world government.
On the outskirts of the national capital today, black limousines with darkened windows converged on a hotel where private security guards imposed ironclad control. The limos carried royalty, political power brokers, and industrial titans to a secret meeting that will last all weekend. It's known as the Bilderberg Group. Could their objective be world domination?
It is impossible not to reach the conclusion that the non-reporting of these events is anything other than a conspiracy between the organisers and the media. It merely confirms the belief of many that the hidden agenda and purpose of the Bilderberg Group is to bring about undemocratic world government. It's a disgrace that the European Commission is colluding in that.
CFR members include America's wealthiest tycoons, as well as the highly placed elite in government, academic institutions, tax-exempt foundations, and the establishment media. Ruling Class Journalists, written by Richard Harwood, describes the CFR membership as the ruling establishment in the United States. The Washington Post article boasted that news reporters who are CFR members do not merely analyze and interpret foreign policy for the United States, they help make it. Who are these policymakers? Many of their faces are familiar. NBC's Tom Brokaw, CBS's Dan Rather, ABC's Barbara Walters, Jim Lehrer of PBS, William F. Buckley of National Review, media mogul Rupert Murdoch, owner of the giant multifaceted News Corporation. These media heavyweights, and many others like them, are members of the CFR. Powerful corporations are also invited to become members. At the close of the 20th century, CFR influence presided over far-reaching consolidations of media control. In 1995, CFR members Michael Eisner of Disney and ABC's Thomas Murphy merged their media empires. Soon after the merger, the Disney-ABC empire becomes a CFR corporate member. In the year 2000, the world's largest internet service provider, America Online, joins forces with Time Warner, one of the world's largest news organizations. The CEOs favoring the move are CNN's Thomas Johnson and Time Warner's Gerald Levin, both CFR members. Once again, another media giant is created under the shadow of CFR influence. Today, an elite handful of individuals define the agendas that are supported by the empire of establishment news.
What sort of a financial deal should Obama be seeking to strike when he travels to China next month?
No, I think this would be the time, because you really need to bring China into the creation of a new world order, financial world order. They are kind of reluctant members of the IMF. They play along, but they don't make much of a contribution. So I think you need a new world order that China has to be part of the process of creating it.
While the name New World Order is a term frequently used today when referring to this group, it's more useful to identify the principal organizations, institutions, and individuals who make up this vast interlocking spiderweb of elite conspirators. The Illuminati is the oldest term commonly used to refer to the 13 bloodline families and their offshoots that make up a major portion of this controlling elite. Most members of the Illuminati are also members in the highest ranks of numerous secretive and occult societies, which in many cases extend straight back into the ancient world. The upper levels of this tightly compartmentalized Illuminati structural pyramid include planning committees and organizations that the public has little or no knowledge of at all. The upper levels of the Illuminati pyramid include secretive committees with names such as the Council of Three, the Council of Five, the Council of Seven, the Council of Nine, the Council of 13, the Council of 33, the Grand Druid Council, the Committee of 300, also called the Olympians, and the Committee of 500, among others. In 1992, Dr. John Coleman published Conspirators' Hierarchy, the story of the Committee of 300, where he summarizes the intent and purpose of the Committee of 300 as follows.
A one world government and one unit monetary system, under permanent non-elected hereditary oligarchists who self-select from among their numbers in the form of a feudal system as it was in the Middle Ages. In this one world entity, population will be limited by restrictions on the number of children per family, diseases, wars, famines, until 1 billion people who are useful to the ruling class, in areas which will be strictly and clearly defined, remain as the total world population. There will be no middle class, only rulers and the servants. All laws will be uniform under a legal system of world courts practicing the same unified code of laws, backed up by a one world government police force and a one world unified military to enforce laws in all former countries where no national boundaries shall exist. The system will be on the basis of a welfare state. Those who are obedient and subservient to the one world government will be rewarded with the means to live. Those who are rebellious will simply be starved to death or be declared outlaws, thus a target for anyone who wishes to kill them. Privately owned firearms or weapons of any kind will be prohibited.
The sheer magnitude and complex web of deceit surrounding the individuals and organizations involved in this conspiracy is mind-boggling. Most people react with disbelief and skepticism towards the topic, unaware that they have been conditioned to act that way by the institutional and media influences that were created by the mother of all mind control organizations, the Tavistock Institute of Human Relations. It's in London. What most people believe to be public opinion is, in reality, carefully crafted and scripted propaganda designed to elicit a desired behavioral response from the public. Mind control is a much greater problem than most people realize. According to Cisco Wheeler, a former Illuminati mind control programmer, there are 10 million people who have been programmed as mind-controlled slaves using trauma-based mind control programs with names like Project Monarch and MK Ultra. The newer non-trauma electronic means of mind control programming that grew out of the Montauk Project may include millions more. Al Bellick, who played a principal role in the development of the Montauk Project, said that there are likely 10 million victims of the Montauk-style mind control programming worldwide, with the majority located in the USA. He also said that there are covert Montauk programming centers in every major city in the US. After seeing what I've seen in my lifetime and doing a few years of research, it's hard for me to doubt these claims. Also, I recommend a documentary called The Montauk Chronicles. You'll gain a much clearer understanding of mind control programs. In fact, I encourage research of everything that we've gone over here today. I could go on for days about the New World Order. There's just so much to it, and not to mention all the things happening now that are taking us straight there. False flag operations, shooting hoaxes, perpetual wars, mass media propaganda from the 6 corporations that own everything you see, hear, and read, an education system destined for failure, presidents that are selected, not elected, GMOs and other terrible ingredients like high fructose corn syrup, MSG, and artificial sweeteners that get placed in most of the food supply, vaccines and the countless prescription drugs that the pharmaceutical industry floods us with. So many people are all messed up from this stuff. Behind all these things are the same perpetrators, banksters and Illuminati gangsters. Their goal is to make our world extremely unbearable and chaotic so that they can offer the ultimate solution and fully implement the New World Order. This has been ODD TV, and I appreciate you watching.
We got some dumbass motherfuckers floating around this country. Dumbass motherfuckers, you know? And this ain't just ranting and raving. This ain't just blowing off steam. I got a little evidence to support my claim. It's fucking embarrassing. Only a nation of unenlightened half-wits could have taken this beautiful place and turned it into what it is today, a shopping mall. And how do the people feel about all this? How do the people feel about living in a coast-to-coast shopping mall? Well, they think it's just fucking dandy. Millions of semi-conscious Americans, day after day, shuffling through the malls, shopping and eating, especially eating. Americans love to eat. These people are efficient, professional, compulsive consumers. It's their civic duty, consumption. It's the new national pastime. Fuck baseball, it's consumption. The only true, lasting American value that's left, buying things. The big, wealthy business interests that control things and make all the important decisions. Forget the politicians. The politicians are put there to give you the idea that you have freedom of choice. You don't. You have no choice. You have owners. They own you. They own everything. They own all the important land. They own and control the corporations. They've long since bought and paid for the Senate, the Congress, the state houses, the city halls. They got the judges in their back pockets. And they own all the big media companies, so they control just about all of the news and information you get to hear. They got you by the balls. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. They're not interested in that. That doesn't help them. They don't want people who are smart enough to sit around the kitchen table and figure out how badly they're getting fucked by a system that threw them overboard 30 fucking years ago. They don't want that. You know what they want? They want obedient workers. Obedient workers. People who are just smart enough to run the machines and do the paperwork, and just dumb enough to passively accept all these increasingly shittier jobs with the lower pay, the longer hours, the reduced benefits, the end of overtime, and the vanishing pension that disappears the minute you go to collect it. And now they're coming for your Social Security money. They want your fucking retirement money. They want it back, so they can give it to their criminal friends on Wall Street. And you know something? They'll get it. They'll get it all from you sooner or later, because they own this fucking place. It's a big club, and you ain't in it. The game is rigged, and nobody seems to notice. Nobody seems to care. That's what the owners count on, the fact that Americans will probably remain willfully ignorant of the big red, white, and blue dick that's being jammed up their assholes every day.
You accept the reality that's presented to you. You watch the news and perceive it as truth that's given to you. You even repeat the things that you hear, just listen to you. Major media outlets exist here just to fool you. Fox News, MSNBC, and CNN. What kind of vision are you seeing in? I'm seeing them in Ultra HD, trying to brainwash me and everybody else. Why can't y'all see? And Alex Jones is on the internet, imposing on our intellect. It makes me wonder why guys like him even get respect. It's time to disconnect and get some shit correct. Don't pay attention, they misdirect us to get a check. Infowars on the prison planet, it ain't right. It's just another way to put it out in plain sight. This is their game that we're playing, they got their game tight. The New World Order's about to take flight. I wanna soak a stack of cash in some gas and shove it up Alan Greenspan's ass. Light it and laugh. I wanna put the Rockefellers in a building and fly a plane right into it just to kill them. Yeah, that's how I'm feeling. I wanna write fuck you on a note, piss on it, shove it down George Bush's throat. Watch his ass choke. I wanna place the royal families in the ghetto and have people light them up with heavy metal.
Koch brothers. Fuck you. George Soros. Fuck you. Vladimir Putin. Fuck you. Barack Obama. Fuck you. Xi Jinping. Fuck you. Pope Francis. Fuck you. Larry Page. Fuck you. New World. Fuck you.
Almost everything that we ever been taught's a fucking lie. And now I never trust anything, and you wonder why. I think it's justified, plus the lies just multiply. That's the reason that I'm never passive and I won't comply. Born in the middle of a world that we don't understand. We go to school and think we're smart, but that's part of the plan. They create the curriculum, that's part of the scam. We're really meant to just be stuck in the darkness and damned. Every day we're supposed to stay in a state of confusion. Never intended to escape this created illusion. We believe in things that to this day are remaining unproven. Bringing down our current government is our greatest solution. But we spend most of our time occupied by entertainment, constantly infiltrating your brain just to drain it. Taught to accept all the conditions of your enslavement. It's time to get twisted, sister. No, we ain't gonna take it.
I wanna soak a stack of cash in some gas and shove it up Alan Greenstand's ass.
Light it and laugh.
I wanna put the Rockefellers in a building and fly a plane right into it just to kill them.
Yeah, that's how I'm feeling.
I wanna write fuck you on a note, piss on it, shove it down George Bush's throat.
Watch his ass choke.
I wanna place the royal families in the ghetto and have people light them up with heavy metal.
Warren Buffett,
Fuck you.
Rupert Murdoch,
Fuck you.
Hillary Clinton,
Fuck you.
Sumner Redstone,
Fuck you.
Robert Iger,
Fuck you.
Zuckerberg,
Fuck you.
Rothschild,
Fuck you.
New World.
Fuck you.
They got us running around like chickens with our heads cut off, sacrificing our lives to jobs that barely pay enough to get by. To add insult to injury, it is becoming illegal to be homeless. These motherfuckers have an agenda with plans and goals that exceed 100 plus years from now. And you don't even know what you're gonna eat for lunch tomorrow. ODD TV.